¿Qué onda, chicos? ¿Cómo están? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel again. I'm unemployed, estoy desempleada, así que that's why I have the time to do more videos now. So might as well put on things that I like, which is my YouTube channel, and be with you guys. En el video de hoy, tengo un invitado especial. On today's video, I have a special guest. As you can see, I have my husband here.
Hi guys.
How you feel about being on for the first time in the channel?
Oh, it feels good. It feels good.
Are you nervous?
A little bit,
Okay, yeah, he said he was a little bit nervous, but
Mhm.
everything's gonna be fine. We got our puppies here. Tenemos a nuestros perritos aquí.
I think they're taking
Chico.
all the screen here.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
Ustedes probablemente van a escuchar en el background, porque por lo regular, today I'm not on my regular studio, studio. I'm not in my studio today. I'm in my living room.
Yes, she has her own studio, guys.
Yeah, which is just a spare bedroom. But anyway, so you're gonna hear probably I'm on my living room, so I got my fish tanks, I got my birds on the other side, which they like to speak their mind. Yeah, they're saying hi to the audience. So you're gonna hear not too quiet, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine. Well, I just want to say thank you, for supporting the channel as always. And today, on today's video or live stream, we're gonna react to different stuff, Mexican food.
I love Mexican food.
Yes, so he's gonna react to Mexican food, Mexican facts that we didn't know. Obviously, it's gonna be in English. Everything, todo va a ser en inglés porque mi esposo no habla mucho español, casi nada. So today's video is gonna be basically pretty much in English because he doesn't speak too much Spanish. So
poquito.
But I hope you guys understand. If not, I'm gonna be translated anyways. And here I got Cookie giving a bath to Chico. I didn't introduce them. I'm sorry. This is Chico.
Hi, Chico.
Which
Hi, Chico.
Chico you already met. Ustedes ya conocieron a Chico en algunas transmisiones. In some videos you saw Chico already.
Say hi.
He was in some videos with me. Then we got Cookie. He's just a puppy that not recently, a year ago, he joined to the family. So yeah, this is the whole family right now, and they're gonna be joining us on these videos, on this live stream.
Come on, buddy.
Well, I want to see how you guys doing today. I hope you're doing a great weekend. I hope you're having lots of fun, lots of drinking, but not too much if you drive. Hola, Roy Betron. Hola, buenas tardes. Bienvenido. Welcome to the channel. Y bueno, vamos a estar... Tú que apenas acabas de llegar, vamos a estar reaccionando a videos acerca de México, videos en inglés, obviamente funny facts, comida, diferentes cosas, pero en inglés obviamente para que mi esposo reaccione a algunas cosas que a lo mejor pues no sabe de México. Digo, I've been teaching him a lot about our culture, but I might miss some facts. So today we're going to learn those facts. And we're gonna start with our first video.
I'm excited.
We are such a big fans. I don't know if you guys heard before about Mark Wings, but he's a guy from the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken. No, Thailand. But he went to study into the U.S., so he speaks fluent English. He started making videos. Pretty much it's about food, which I don't know what you think, but I feel like he's like you because like he eats and you see him in camera and yeah, he's like so skinny and so jealous, and you see him. His channel is basically about food. He's eating all the time, so I don't know how he does that. But anyway, so we're gonna react to him today. This is our first video. This is a place, basically he recorded this video in a place that I love and, I'm proud of because my mom is from Oaxaca, which is where he made this video. He's going to try some mole negro, mole from Oaxaca. So we're going to react to him, like trying to find someone to make mole de Oaxaca. So yeah, let's start reacting to him. Okay.
Pero sí, todo esto.
Muy bien.
Ayer me hubieras dicho y hubiera ido a comprar todo, ahora ya nomás.
Pero pues yo no sabía.
Pues sí.
The actual town that we're in is called Tlacolula de Matamoros, and this is Zapoteca.
Like for people that don't know too much Oaxaca, you know, like you imagine like Mexico is for like, you know, like wildlife and a lot of forests and a lot of trees. But to be honest, there are some parts, you know, like in every country, there's like more dry states and other ones. Like, you know, you put Arizona against Florida, obviously it's way different.
Yep.
So it's kind of like that style, I would say. It's really hot. It's a dry weather, but it's pretty nice. A lot of culture, a lot of dishes, a lot of like Mexican heritage.
Town, so that's the culture, the ethnicity. Okay, and we have just arrived to the market now.
How do you feel about, like, for example, because I've seen sometimes you freak out, but I just want to ask you, like, how would you guys feel? How do you guys feel? ¿Cómo se sienten ustedes cuando ven a alguien que hace o que está preparando la comida con las manos? How do you feel when you see someone preparing the food with the hands like that?
As long as they wash the hands, even in fancy restaurants here in America, it's the same.
Do you feel they should wear like gloves? Maybe it's like freaks you out a little bit that you don't see them wearing gloves, like here.
A little bit, yeah. Just a little bit. I mean, it's not like I said. If they know what they're doing, they wash their hands. I'm not too worried. I'm not concerned.
Because you know we have this thought in Mexico, like this saying that it tastes better if you eat everything. If you eat the things with your hands, it tastes even better. It gives it like a different flavor. It tastes way better. And they even say, like, if you know somebody prepares their food with their hands, it gives it like a little extra flavor, like not in a bad way, like germs or something, but they like it tastes better when it's made with the hands for some reason.
Yeah.
That's how we Mexicans kind of like feel about making, you know, preparing the food with your hands. Yeah. Like the video in Afghanistan, remember that we saw that they, I mean, at least in Mexico, you know, we use forks, like, you know, all the time, unless you're eating tacos or like, you know, quesadillas or tortas, stuff like that, you eat it with the hands. But you don't. There in guys, like in Afghanistan, they comen todo con las manos, todo, cualquier cosa con las manos. In Afghanistan, they eat everything with the hands, and they even share. Like from the same plate, they will grab, you know, different people, 5 to 10 different people would just grab from the same plate with their hands. Like it's different, but you know, like it's what they do.
Negro, porque quede
We're stopping first to buy the chilies. Oh man, so many different types of chilies. That's a big bag of chilies right there.
medio kilo de pasas, un cuarto de almendras, días todavía, un cuarto de nuez,
all the peppers, the raisins, macadamia, like nuts, almonds, like all the ingredients for the mole.
todas las cebollas. A ver, esto que pesa. Espérame. Ahí está, esto nada más.
Some places in Oaxaca, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting a lot, but there's so much fact that you gotta learn. Like there is some places in, like in just talking about special Oaxaca in that area, they still do what we call trueque, which maybe here I'm not sure how they would translate it, but it's like exchange. Like they give you their tomato that they grew, and you know they give you in exchange an onion that they grew in their yard or in their growing. How would you call that? Like an exchange. Like here, I pay you for your onion with a tomato or 2 tomatoes. How do you call that?
No, like bargaining, like
bargain,
bargaining or
bargaining.
trading or.
So yeah, they still do nowadays in some, like, not just Oaxaca. I mean, like all Mexico, like the indigenous towards more like, you know, very heritage indigenous places. They still do the bargaining.
Vegetable section now. We're buying some tomatoes, some onions, some peppers, some green tomatoes. And they even put bread inside Oaxacan mole.
No, aquí nomás. 10 pesos.
10 pesos, ok. Ah, ¿y mole también?
Sí.
¿A plátano?
Sí.
Ah, gracias. Gracias.
Claro, ¿no?
Chicken.
¿Vino a vender? Pollo entero no tiene. ¿Vino a vender? ¿Verdad? No, vine a traer unas cosas que vamos a hacer.
We're getting a full chicken to go with that mole sauce.
Mole que ya que vamos a hacer.
You don't find it
Puede hacer mole rico y la sopa ellos quieren mole y ya lo voy a hacer como ella lo hacen. Por eso ellos quieren, pero ella, la receta que tengo es de ella, como hace el mole. Ajá.
It's her recipe.
No,
Oh,
es un
is
mole
she a
bueno.
relative? Is she a relative?
Sí, conocidos. Dice que ya somos sus hijos adoptivos.
While we're at the chicken stall, we met the grandmother whose recipe we'll be making. It's her mole recipe. And oh, she definitely knows what she's doing when it comes to mole. Things just even got better.
Ándale, sí, abuela.
Que le vaya bien, doñita.
Yeah, remember a week, Mexico week.
Hola, ¿es listo?
Ya está listo.
Quiero un vaso, por favor.
Bonilla, buenas tardes, bienvenido.
Sí, sí.
We're reacting to Mexican food.
Sin azúcar.
Ah, sin azúcar.
Sin azúcar, por favor.
Simple.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
5 pesos.
5 pesos. 5. Maíz, cacao.
Maíz.
That's
the broth.
champurrado. It's
okay.
like, you know, they mix. I'm not sure if she put cornstarch and then water and, you know, the cacao, which is the one you use to make the chocolate.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically like a cocoa, but, you know, from scratch in a different way. But they add like it's corn scratch.
Cacao, pisle, es la semilla que sale del hueso de mamey. Sí, es natural y la florecita es natural.
Okay, this is called tejate, and it's a traditional drink.
Okay, it's not that. That's another thing.
Natural y la florecita es natural.
So it's like they add like some flour, mamey seeds, you know, the fruit. Is that how you call it? Mamey?
Which one?
Mamey.
I don't know.
It's like a avocado.
Mm-hmm.
It has like the shape of an avocado, but it's like orange inside, and it has like a big
like a seed in the middle.
Big seed in the middle, like the avocado, but it tastes sweet. And well, the seed from that's what they use, like the scratch from the seed. They make that, and they like use like a flour. It's kind of just like a refreshing drink that they make.
Okay, this is called tejate, and it's a traditional drink she uses. There's corn in here, and there is chocolate. I'm not sure what all else, but as we were entering the market, she was making it, and she was whipping it up with her hands. It was like a thick paste, but now she added more water, so it's turned into a liquid beverage, but there's still some like chunkiness on top. This is very interesting. I can't wait to try it.
I know.
Oh, and I asked her for it with no sugar. She said you could have sugar or no sugar or however much sugar you want. It's really good with no sugar. You can taste the corn in there. You can taste the chocolate. It's a little bit starchy. It tastes like kind of a cross between a beverage and a porridge.
Ese es tejate.
It's great.
Bebidas de los dioses
Like
zapotecos.
Muchas gracias. Buenos días.
Bueno, gracias.
Okay, we made it back to the house. It's time to start cooking. I wanted to just explain that this entire area and this city is known for its Zapotec population, which is the indigenous people of this region of Oaxaca. Tamales oaxaqueños.
Así está.
Eso se le llama desvenar.
Desvenar is taking the seeds. How would you call that in English?
She's getting started making the mole by just first starting off with the chilies. Those are pretty large chilies. She's emptying out the seeds, scraping out the seeds. And in the meantime, we have gotten lucky, and she made, without knowing, she made some tamales, some loco Oaxaqueño tamales, steamed in corn husk. Let me empty this out. Let me just break up this tamal. ¿Tamale de qué?
De chepil.
De chepil. Oh, chepil es verdura.
Es verdura. Es verdura.
Ah. Okay. I'm not totally sure what that is. Do you know what it is? There's a tub of salsa that our driver, by the way, his name is Javier. He said this is his favorite salsa that his mom makes. And he said it's picante, it's spicy.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I'm gonna add on some of this salsa. He said it's spicy. Okay. Looks amazing.
Oh my god. I'm so hungry.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know,
it's corn, but it's not like finely ground. It's kind of coarse. You can taste that unique vegetable in there. It's more like a herb, I think. Maybe like a wild herb. It's delicious with that salsa. Oh, that's incredible. Salsa's a little bit spicy, but just perfect with that tamale.
Right?
It's delicious.
Y hay de rajas, puñetes, de mole. Su nieta.
That first type of chili is all ready. We're moving into the kitchen now. They're gonna light the fire and we're gonna get started cooking this mole. And they're making it purely from scratch. All the raw ingredients, or the dried chilies, the dry ingredients, but everything is from scratch. It's such a privilege to have this opportunity.
Aquí es donde se va a tostar el chile ancho. El elote.
So she's roasting the chilies now, or just heating them over the comal, which is the clay pan over fire. And they're not spicy,
You know, I'm not,
but to me
I
they
don't know
almost
why
have like
she's
a
not
sweet,
coughing,
almost
because when you do
tomatoey
that,
aroma
you
to them.
usually cough. She must be really used to it. Yeah. Like all the smoke. I mean, I wouldn't be able to
ya
do
debe
it
de
in the
quedar.
house without
Ajá,
getting it
ya
all
está
smoky.
listo.
So she's roasting the chilies for a few minutes until they shrivel up. Then they look like a kind of like a shriveled piece of leather. But the aroma coming out, they're slightly charred. I'm already starting to sense that complexity of aromas and flavors that will be part of this mole.
Right?
O aquí nomás sácame servilletitas.
¿Agua natural?
Sí. No, de Jamaica. Y 1 kilo de chile ancho es bastante, como 3 kilos, 4 kilos, más o menos.
Saying 1 kilo of like
Con
chile
eso
ancho
que me
pepper
quemé
is
mi mano.
enough. Maybe, didn't she say maybe like 3 or 4
Plátano macho. Es dulce.
It's a plantain banana. She said it's a little bit sweet.
Me vas a ayudar a deshuesar.
I'm still unsure how all of this is gonna fit together.
Chabacano.
Chabacano.
Ajá.
That's like it's no, it's like a fruit, like the other one that is started.
Almendra.
Okay, so for the almonds,
Yeah,
she
but
put in
it's
some
not.
oil into the clay pot and then she's just frying the almonds.
I forgot how to call it. Did I buy it? I'm just saying no. Oh, look at them,
Estas son nueces.
So nueces.
Ajá.
She just pulled the almonds out of the oil and now she dropped in the walnuts.
Oh, the walnut. Not macadamia. Oh, Galletas Maria. That's the cookies that we have. Remember that we eat with the coffee.
I never would have guessed the next ingredient in this mole recipe. They're like kind of like cookie biscuits. Yeah. And again, she's just tossing them into the oil, deep frying them just for about 10 seconds or so. That's an ingredient I wasn't expecting.
Pan cazuela. Muéstrase lo que tiene ahí.
Chocolate.
Oh, chocolate.
Y pasas.
There's also bread in the mole, and it's a special type of bread. There's some chocolate in the bread and something else. Oh, is that going to be fried too? Oh, yes, yes it is.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, what? Oh, the bread. Wow.
As the bread and as the ingredients are being fried and prepared, something to know about mole is that it's a very, very well-known dish. It's one of the ultimate dishes of Oaxaca as well as in Puebla. And there are mixed theories of how it was invented or how it came about. But one thing is for sure is that it is a combination of both the local indigenous ingredients and cooking techniques combined with the European colonial influence to create this truly unique blend of flavors and tastes, and it's an incredibly complex dish using so many ingredients. I mean, if you were trying to even come up with a dish like this, it would be impossible because there's so many random ingredients in it and it's such a complex dish.
This is pimienta.
Oh, the pepper.
Así es.
Oh, okay.
The black pepper.
8.
Before they grind it up.
30.
This is some type of pepper that I've never seen before. The next spice is cloves going in.
You know, that's different color. Like, it's not actual black pepper.
Canela.
Cinnamon. This is when things are getting more and more complex when they're adding the spices now. So now she's frying some cinnamon sticks, and then we also counted out some kind of peppercorns, and then cloves. There's going to be some sesame seeds that go in. Cloves and the pepper go in the oil.
Clove.
The aroma of that is insane.
Ahora van las pasas.
Las
pasas. The raisins.
Oh, raisins. Okay.
Oh my God, it looks so good.
Oh, those smell really good being stir-fried in that oil. As the ingredients are still being prepared for the mole sauce, they're now preparing the chicken. So the chicken has all been cleaned and cut up, and I think she's just boiling it straight up in water. Muy complicado. Muy interesante, sí.
Sí. Y mucho trabajo el mole.
Sí, mucho trabajo. Mole is such a complex dish, and there's so many ingredients involved, and each ingredient you have to prepare separately, and it's very time intensive, and it takes a lot of work to prepare, and so it's so cool to be able to watch the whole process and just anticipate the mole that we're going to be able to eat very soon. Teotihuacan. Plums.
Wow.
I think some type of plum, dried plum, and then deep fried also.
Este es hierbita de olor.
This is like a dill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a dill.
It's oregano and some kind of other herb. So basically, the chilies get blackened, roasted, but everything else is fried in oil. Chicken is coming along nicely, nice and slow.
Oh, put the onions right on the fire. Wow.
That looks so good, right? Oh, and the garlic too.
Except she just tossed in some onions and garlic right into the fire to roast. Sesame seeds.
Sesame seeds.
Seeds, white sesame seeds. That also goes into the oil to fry.
Sesame.
Man, she has fried like at least like 15 ingredients so far.
Sí, porque
and counting, yeah. And more to go.
Hierba santa. Ajá. Hierba santa, cebolla, ajo, sal. Cuando vean ya está dulce.
Just for the flavor of the chicken. Separately in the chicken pot, after just boiling the chicken in water, then she added in some onions and some garlic, and also a type of leaf called hoja santa, and that's going to create a chicken broth that they're also going to use for the mole. These are all of the ingredients so far.
Oh
Look, it's an entire bucket of ingredients. Works so well.
Oh, the tomatoes.
The onions and garlic finished roasting in the fire, and then they're just peeling off that outer blackened layer and revealing just that juicy flesh underneath. And then for the tomatoes, there's two kinds of tomatoes, the green tomatoes and the red tomatoes, and she's again just frying it in the clay pot for a little while.
I like that sound. She's mixing all in the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Le echas a este, Germán, y a este otro.
That took about 2 hours to prepare everything. It's now time to start grinding everything together to make the sauce.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of work. That's strange. Yeah.
I love the sound of that rock on rock, but then with the like squishing sound of those chilies in between the rocks. And she's such an expert.
Like,
and you can even smell, you can really vibrantly smell the aroma of those chilies in there too.
Like she describes the sounds, the textures, like
the stone grinder like this is called a metate, but it's very, very time intensive. It would take hours and hours to grind up this entire bucket full of ingredients for the mole. They're gonna take it to the market where they have a bigger grinder called a molina. And they're gonna grind everything on that so it will be a lot faster. So it would probably take until tomorrow if they tried to grind all of that by hand, and we don't have that much time. So they're gonna do that, but in the meantime, we're gonna go to a waterfall, which is near to this area, because then after that, the paste, it has to cook for a while. And then we're gonna come back to eat this just sensational mole.
What do you think so far? I know.
The drive to get here was gorgeous. We came really high into the mountains. It's the views, the rugged landscape is incredible. And we've arrived to the place, it's called Hierve del Agua. It's beautiful here.
Hey, Mark. Yo.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
It feels like you're on the edge of the earth here, and this is where the water is bubbling. But the water is not hot, it's just kind of like fizzing. It's just room temperature water. We now hiked over to the main swimming pools. It's quite a unique landscape. It's almost like a moonscape.
I feel like you're on the moon. Oh yeah, with all the craters and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's how the moon is.
Those are some pretty interesting and very unique moonscapes, but I am very, very hungry now. My excitement for eating mole is at an all-time high. Hola.
Yeah.
Hola.
Hola, hola.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Ya quedó. Aquí ya está el que se le va a echar el caldo.
Oh. Over here, this is the paste. And so that was all, wow, you can smell it. You can see the shimmering oil on it.
Oh, they made it into the paste.
I'm just gonna taste the paste.
That's the concentrated paste.
Sorry guys, we're just switching headset because I don't think you were able to hear me, to hear us that well. So I'm gonna change this one. Well, you can wear this one because that goes on the left, so I'll just take the right. Should be able to tell from that. Yeah, he's right.
Oh wow. That's like unexplainable. It's almost like foamy in texture. You can taste the spices, the hint of clove, the pepper in there.
Maybe like an hour and a half.
Have they added?
Ya le pusieron chocolate, ¿verdad?
Ya, ahorita si quieren más.
Okay.
And you do everything on like the wood stoves, the coals, and
Ya
stuff.
tiene, pero si quieren más, se le echa ya. Ajá. Ahora ya lo van a probar diferente.
Also, they already added the chocolate in there, so we didn't see them add that, but they added chocolate in there. It's almost time.
Yeah,
Listo para comer.
Bueno, solo paro ahí y una canastita.
¿Ese canastito nos llevamos? Ajá, eso es que hizo. No sé. Ya lo puse. Ajá, ya está.
Pretty sure it takes so
Yeah.
¿Quién va a comer el...?
Cookies.
¿Yo solo o no?
Sí, con la...
They always put
Wow, sesame seeds.
On top of it? Wow, that's amazing.
It took like 5 hours to make this mole. They made everything from scratch, starting with the chilies. There must be 30 different ingredients in this mole recipe. And what I love is that the family, they took 5
hours to prepare the mole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he counted when they went to the market to buy the ingredients, or just since they started, you know.
Probably
like
since they started, yeah.
Yeah, so let's start. Let me see if they can hear. Okay, yeah. We see each other.
kindly invited us into their house and into their compound, into their home, like we were family here. So what's interesting about mole is that they don't cook the chicken within the sauce, but rather the chicken is cooked separately and then the sauce is prepared separately, and then they combine the two for the final process right before you eat it. Wow. Oh wow. I can tell you certainly, there's nothing like this in the world. It's so unique. It's such like an impossible mixture of ingredients. You don't even know, actually, and it's true that they don't know exactly how mole was invented. It's a very mysterious, amazing flavor. You can taste the chocolate, you can taste the chilies, you can taste the nuts in there. It has a nutty taste. It's really rich.
And then everybody's recipe is a little different.
It's phenomenal. Oh, look at that. Oh, the sauce. It's really all about the sauce, but chicken is just like is just the second ingredient in this dish. I have to taste a bite of chicken before I even move on to any carb form.
A mucha insistencia, poca la resistencia.
Muy bueno.
Sí.
Qué rico. Muy rico. Wow. Yeah. That's stunning. Yeah. And again, the sauce. I mean, the sauce is so incredibly flavorful that all it needs to do is coat the chicken. It doesn't need to like permeate into the center of the chicken.
It's nice with that mole, like some tortillas, like like warm up. They're kind of hard, but not too much.
And then you just use them to.
Use it to eat. Oh my god. Sound of the plate. Oh,
I gotta get a bit more sauce though on there.
Wow.
That's
I love
remarkable.
his reactions.
Hold on, let me just get this. Okay.
You want to be on? Carlos and Annette, how's the mole?
I'm
Annette?
eating the
Very good. Muy bueno.
Carlos.
What is it?
¿Qué pasa?
Unique,
grasshopper.
special,
Oh, okay.
very different than any mole that I've tried before. Very good.
And by the way, she refilled my sauce.
Pero ya así en pasta. Y en cambio así haciéndolo todo.
This mole sauce is just blowing my mind right now. They've also made us a plate of chapulines, which are grasshoppers. And grasshoppers are very, very common in Oaxaca. You'll find them at the market. They said they harvest these grasshoppers sometime in November, October or November.
Have you tried the
That's
grasshoppers?
grasshopper season.
Yeah.
But then they save them all.
It tastes like,
So they have a continuous.
like a dry fish,
Mm-hmm.
kind of. It tastes a little fishy. Has like a fishy
Annual supply of grasshoppers
Probably
throughout the
try
year.
one.
salty.
Oh wow. Oh, those are just fantastic. Oh, that's an entire mouthful of grasshoppers. They're kind of crunchy. They have, I think they're cooked with some salt and lime because the flavor is amazing. Oh, those are beautiful. I love it. Oh, with that sauce, mole, chapulines. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna add on a little more mole sauce onto this grasshopper. Oh, that's an outstanding combination too. I like it with the grasshoppers. That gives it a crunch. That
Wow,
chicken
look at
just
that
falls off
view.
the bone.
That's
Oh, look
amazing.
at that. I'm gonna add this to my rice, and I've got one combination that I need to try. I mean, I love it with the tortillas, but with rice, I mean, I am
It just adds a
Asian.
little
I
bit
love
more,
rice.
like
It's
it's a
so
little
good with
thicker
rice.
even.
This sauce is just insane. Okay, they also have one of Mom's homemade salsas here, and I've seen
Oh,
Javier.
wow.
He is adding some of the salsa to his mole, so
You know, I
I'm
love
gonna
homemade
follow.
salsas.
Yeah.
Oh wow! There's nothing better than adding sauce to sauce. Okay, and then finally, I gotta
That
go
is
in for
true.
some of those chapulines. Sprinkle those on top. Oh wow! Let me add one more grasshopper for the final topping. And there it is. That is possibly the greatest single bite of mole
That's funny, yeah.
in the entire world.
Wow. And he always cleans his plate.
And that completes the mole. That was an absolutely stunning meal.
What was that?
Do I have any grasshoppers stuck in my
That was
teeth?
a
I don't think so.
an
I just have a
outtake.
chocolate mustache.
Yeah.
A mole mustache. Oh man, that was so incredibly good. I loved the mole. I loved this entire experience. And when we set off this morning, we had no
I
idea
love
what
the
we were gonna do.
food. It's
Actually,
amazing.
we didn't have plans. All we wanted to do was eat.
You can tell it's been
wanted to
all day,
find
'cause
and
they
search
started
out some
in
of the best
morning.
mole. And it was an incredible success. But thanks to the family here, I want to
Now
say
the
a huge
sun's
thank you to
going down.
Javier, who is our driver, because he graciously thought of this idea, and then he called his mom. His mom agreed, and they graciously invited us into their home, which is it's incredible. I've said it many times before, but this is another one of those experiences that is worth traveling across the world. There's nothing like an experience
okay.
like this when it comes to food and travel, and I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity. So again, huge thank you to the family. We're all very happy and full of mole now, and they're gonna give us some of that mole paste to bring home with us. Okay,
Nice.
I'm gonna, before I'm a little bit under the influence of mole right now, so I'm gonna quit talking. And I want to say a huge thank you for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section.
Of mole.
That was a really
That
good
was
video. Yep.
Remember, guys, don't drive if you're under the influence of mole. That was a good video. Let's see who we have here. Well, thank you, Roy Betron, Ricardo Bonilla, Talia. Thank you guys for being keep watching the video on the channel first. And now we're gonna react to top 17 coolest places to visit in Mexico. You might know some of them, you might not. So we're gonna react together here to what's one of the coolest places to visit in Mexico. I don't remember seeing this guy before, so I don't know how these videos
explorers have been asking me.
Make sure to subscribe to this channel too. Mark Wings, of course, super recommended. Subscribe. He's got a good content, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
To make videos about the top places I visit in a country or the most hidden gems I discover. But my issue with this was the fact that for me, traveling is this really spontaneous and adventurous thing where I basically discover things I didn't even know existed and you know, go off the beaten track as much as I can. That being said, when I do my minimal travel planning, I do use other people's resources. And that is why I finally decided to make my coolest places to visit video that I hope to continue everywhere I go. One quick thing before we start though. If you start watching this video hoping that I will talk about places like Catedral de Mexico or Cancun or places like this, you can stop watching right this second because they're not here. However, if you want to see the really cool stuff Mexico has to offer, you're certainly at the right place. Number 17 is a cenote with a really mysterious name. The Pet Cemetery. You see, when they initially explored the cenote, a team of divers came upon a truly marvelous discovery. The cave's jaw-dropping rock formations were punctuated by stalactites and stalagmites, with pockets of darkness in which cave-blind fish flourish. Most staggering of all, the bottom of the pool had a soft dune-like surface, which, when shifted, revealed unforeseen treasures. The pit was littered with animal bones ranging from ancient to more familiar, including the fossilized remains of an extinct prehistoric camel. It's thought that in the old days, the indigenous people tossed the remains of their dead animals into these caves for some sacrificial or burial reasons. Thus, the cenote got its name of Pet Cemetery, and even these days it's filled with bats, blind fish, and, of course, tarantulas. Cenote Pet Cemetery is only 25 kilometers away from Tulum City and 60 kilometers away from Playa del Carmen. The place is certainly not too difficult to find, however, you do need a mode of transport to get there, and you'll have to spend quite a bit of time driving on a dirt road. So be ready for a few bumps here and there. The upside is, you'll get to see lizards on the way, eh? The tour price will not include a swimsuit, and at the entrance they will ask whether you want to rent it or not. We thought that the cenote water would have to be quite warm, so we went inside without it, and we were shivering literally all the time. I mean, it was so cold that I even couldn't last the whole tour and left like 20 minutes early or some. Place to visit number 16 on my list is San Miguel de Allende. San Miguel played a major role in Mexico's War of Independence in the 19th century. It is the birthplace of some of the most important figures of the war, as well as the very first town in all of Mexico to gain its independence from Spain. The city is also very popular for its mariachis, who play there non-stop. Funnily enough, at the time of our visit, one guy decided to go a step further and actually propose to his girlfriend while the mariachis were singing. What a legend. San Miguel de Allende is located in the state of Guanajuato, just under 300 kilometers away from Mexico City and less than 100 kilometers away from Guanajuato City. It's easily reachable by car, but I'm sure you won't have any trouble finding a bus too. San Miguel de Allende is incredibly popular among expats and tourists, so it doesn't matter what time you go there, it'll always be packed. My best tip is to wake up very early in the morning, just before the sunrise, because then everyone will still be sleeping from their beautiful nights out. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun, because the views, oh, the views are great. My 15th choice is a place of incredible history and power, Fort Veracruz. It is a structure built by the early Spanish who came in their shining armor to conquer the New World. It's said that more silver and gold has been collected, stored, and shipped from Veracruz and the fortress than any other place in the New World. This fort took nearly 50 years to complete and claimed the lives of thousands of indigenous slaves, as well as thousands of tons of coral reef that was destroyed to build the walls of this fortress. Later on, the fortress served as a battleground, a prison, and even a presidential palace. These days, it's a famous museum among many travelers who pass by, and certainly a great place to visit. The fortress is called San Juan de Ulua in Spanish and is located in the port zone of Veracruz City, known as Heroica Veracruz. The place number 14 is Las Coloradas. It's a group of huge pink salt lakes in the Rio Lagartos Valley.
They do all the exports and imports that come from, I would say, Europe, you know, from overseas and stuff. They definitely, well, of course, from overseas.
Yeah.
But kind of like one of the main ports for like, it's not touristic. It's more basically for, you know,
imports and exports.
Exports, yeah, just merchandise and whatever, cars, different stuff.
Biosphere Reserve, a protected wetlands area home to animals like flamingos, crocodiles, sea turtles, jaguars, and all kinds of seabirds. Las Coloradas means the red ones in Spanish, which is an incredibly appropriate name for this place. These lakes produce thousands of tons of salt per year, which is a great source of income for the local people.
You would be happy there.
Yeah, I
You
love.
guys that he likes the salt. Like some people like, you know, the sugar and he lives with sugar. He likes to eat salt.
Right out of the bottle. Right out of the shaker.
Right out of the shaker.
People that makes them less dependent on fishing.
Salt,
the lakes are a really cool spot to visit, not only because they look very spectacular, but also because you get to see hundreds of wild flamingos chilling in them. This was the first time I ever saw wild flamingos in my life, and it was amazing. Las Coloradas was one of the coolest places we visited in Yucatan, but it's certainly not too easy to get there. It's around 230 kilometers away from Mérida and almost 300 kilometers away from Cancun, reachable by relatively small country roads. I'm pretty sure no buses go there except for special tourist group buses, so I guess you either need to get your own car or join someone who has a car, or book some sort of a tour that will get you there. When you come to Las Coloradas, you will be asked to pay an entrance fee that also includes a local guide, without whom you cannot actually enter the place. So please don't start talking about how much you do not need a guide and how much you don't like having guides and stuff, and support the local people. They certainly, you know, don't live their lives in luxury, and I mean, the entrance ticket is cheap. My choice number 13 goes to the tiny town of Tlacotalpan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site famous for its gorgeous architecture and colonial era layout. There might not be large shopping malls.
Or basically it's like the outside of the Veracruz port. Like it's really close, but it's another like small town.
Or cinemas, or zoos, or amusement parks in this town. But what it does have is the feature of a time machine. I promise you this place will take you hundreds of years back in time to the 16th or the 7th centuries, when it was built and flourished. The town features multiple cute bars and restaurants, churches, gorgeous lanes, parks, and an overwhelming amount of calm, idyllic life. Tlacotalpan is located in the state of Veracruz, only 100 kilometers away from its capital, Heroica Veracruz, and just over 500 kilometers away from Mexico City. We had a car going there, but I'm sure you can find other transportation options too. Veracruz certainly.
What do you feel about the building?
They're very historic. I mean, definitely older buildings. And
Kind of like what is it called? This place here in Florida.
like St. Augustine.
St. Augustine,
yeah.
right? I'm thinking something.
Ain't no jungle. Go to the main square of Tlacotalpan in the evenings when hundreds of birds come there to chill on the trees and sing so loud it'll make you think they were using loudspeakers. That was certainly one of the weirdest and coolest things we saw during our Mexico road trip, and I'm absolutely certain you will love it too. Number 12 is my boy, Teotihuacan. I know. Most people would probably have this place at the very top of the list, but it was just so touristy, I couldn't. And also number 12 ain't necessarily that bad considering we don't even have Chichen Itza in the list at all. Teotihuacan, the most famous archaeological site in all of Mexico that receives millions of tourists every year.
Wow.
Teotihuacan is an ancient Mesoamerican city where the Aztecs believed their gods were born. Over 1,000 years ago, Teotihuacan was the largest city in the pre-Columbian Americas, with a population estimated at 125,000 people or more, making it at least the 6th largest city in the world during that time. Not much is known about the mysterious past of Teotihuacan, but it's clear that this place held enormous political significance for the civilizations of those times and was also a place of religious ceremonies during which animals and people were sacrificed after they ceremoniously crossed this avenue of the dead. Teotihuacan is just 50 kilometers away from central Mexico City, and if there's a place that's really easy to get to in our list, that's certainly this place. As convenient as it is to get there, the downside of course is the fact that everyone comes there, so get ready for massive crowds of tourists, and you might also have to wait in line to get to the very top of the Pyramid of the Sun, so get ready for that, but the views are certainly going to be great, trust me. Place number 11 on my list is this urban paradise called Cenote Zati. The Yucatan Peninsula has as many as 6,000 cenotes, which are water-filled sinkholes. But this one is the only one located in the midst of a largely urban surround. It's not just an urban surround, it's literally inside the city center. I mean, imagine Oxford Street in London or the Times Square in New York. It's crazy. This place might not be as picturesque as some of the other cenotes, but it's certainly one of the best to go swimming at since it's so cheap, accessible, and hardly ever busy with people. As I mentioned already, Cenote Zati is located literally in the city center of Valladolid. But it's also not too far from more popular cities in the area, 150 kilometers away from Cancun, 140 kilometers away from Playa del Carmen, and only 100 kilometers away from Tulum. The sinkhole is filled with tons of eyeless black fish that will nibble at your feet if you let them. So if you're a fan of the fish bath, you'll certainly enjoy your time at the Cenote Zati. We just got into Jacob's top 10 places to visit in Mexico. Welcome, 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 you legend. Place number 10 is Sumidero Canyon. The canyon's creation began around the same time as the Grand Canyon in the United States by a crack in the area's crust and subsequent erosion by the Grijalva River, which still runs through it. Sumidero Canyon has vertical walls which reach as high as 1,000 meters and look out of this world beautiful. When you take a car to the Sumidero Canyon, you drive up a mountain and then make your way to the very end of the road, visiting multiple viewpoints along the way, and then drive all the way back. I know you can also take a boat tour to sail you up the river across the whole canyon, but unfortunately we didn't get the chance to do it ourselves. Though I'm sure that would have been great. Sumidero Canyon is located just outside the capital of Chiapas, Tuxtla Gutierrez. Taking a car there is incredibly easy, but I know that pretty much every hotel or hostel in town can also sell you a tour if you are keen. We also saw some people simply walking up the mountain and then walking all the way down, so if you have a lot of time, that could also be a pretty good option. At some point, most of the Palenque, one of the most important cities of the Maya world that flourished big time in the 7th century. Palenque was first inhabited around 100 BC and it was the westernmost city-state in the Maya world. It wasn't the largest of their cities, but it contained some of the finest architecture, sculpture, roof column, and bas-relief carvings the Maya ever produced. Even though Palenque is by far the most well-researched of all the Maya cities, it is estimated that less than 10% of the total area of the city is explored, leaving more than 1,000 sculptures still covered by the dense jungle. Palenque is located in the state of Chiapas, relatively far away from any of its bigger cities. Its capital, Tuxtla Gutierrez, is almost 300 kilometers away, though the capital of Tabasco State, Villahermosa, is a little more accessible, only 150 kilometers away. That being said, Palenque is one of the most visited ancient ruins in all of Mexico, so I'm absolutely certain there's a lot of transportation options. My best tip is to get there early. You see, we got there just an hour or two before the place would close, and so we spent our time exploring, and then a really big jungle rainstorm was approaching, so we really wanted to experience it there. But the security guards approached us and said we had to leave because apparently the place is closing, which was super disappointing. Well, I guess you live and learn, eh? Number 8 goes to Crater Hoya Honda, which was the northernmost point of our trip in Mexico. This crater is 800 meters wide and 200 meters deep, and has been the source of legends and mystery for generations. According to legend, the crater has not only housed bandits and their treasures, but is also a place where witches can be sighted some nights and where UFOs tend to land from time to time. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see no witches or UFOs, but I had a great time exploring the place nonetheless. You can also go hiking at the bottom of the crater, which unfortunately we didn't get to do. But if you ever have the chance, let me know how it went.
Let the get to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? Every time he's like, oh wait, I didn't get the chance to do it.
And part begin. This crater is only 50 kilometers away from a relatively big city called San Luis Potosí, but it felt so remote and quite hard to get to. At that point in our trip, we had already taken some really remote roads, but this was something on another level. We had to ask tons of locals to point us to the right direction, then cross this vast expanse that we had all to ourselves and somehow find the way to the crater, which certainly didn't have proper signs pointing to it. But it was so much fun, it was all worth it. Obviously, the best tip is that it certainly isn't easy to get to this place, so sharpen up your Spanish and get ready to have some epic interactions with the local people. You'll find it eventually, don't worry, it'll be alright. Place number 7 goes to the most high-ranking cenote on my list, Cenote Suitun. This cenote is probably one of the most popular cenotes in all of Yucatan, but it has one incredible thing going for it. The absolutely insane look and the light that shines shines through the very top. When we came in, the cenote had a traditional performance and was completely packed with people. We really did admire the views, but the place certainly didn't have that magical feeling you'd expect. But then, all of a sudden, it all changed. Almost everyone left and we were there with just a few other backpackers. It was amazing. Cenote Suitun is located just 10 kilometers away from Valladolid, Mexico's capital of legendary cenotes. You can easily get there with a car or a tourist bus. However, know that if you go there with a tourist bus, there will obviously be a lot of people coming with you on the same bus, and by the time you need to leave, you will have to leave with them, right? So you probably won't experience something that we did when we just came with a car, but there's upsides and downsides. The performance, of course, looked absolutely wonderful, but they do those performances at the most popular times when most people come to the place. So I would probably recommend not going to a performance, because then the place will be a lot more calm and serene, which I think is probably better than seeing a performance with a million people there. But it's your call. It's your call. Number 6 is this wonderful mineral pool place called Hierve el Agua. Hierve el Agua is a set of natural rock formations that resemble cascades of water. The site consists of 2 rock cliffs which rise between 50 and 90 meters from the valley below and obviously look absolutely spectacular. At the top of Hierve el Agua, there are also a dozen or so water pools that you can jump in and swim. And they're much better than any infinity pool you've ever been to. Trust me. Hierve el Agua is located in the state of Oaxaca, just 70 kilometers away from Oaxaca City. Even though that doesn't sound like a lot, the roads leading to it are certainly not the best, and thus it takes up to 2 hours to drive the distance. But you'll get to see gorgeous mountain views and super tiny cool villages on the way, so it ain't all that bad. We only spent 10 to 15 minutes bathing in those pools, but it was so cold, we were literally shivering. So maybe take a towel or some, or go there on a sunny day, I don't know. Just get ready for some cold water. Finally, the top 5. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Number 5 goes to the mountain village of Benito Juarez. Benito Juarez is a picturesque village that makes up part of a conglomerate of villages known as the Jointly Responsible Villages, who are working to assure sustainable logging and supplement their income by providing ecotourism facilities. When you get to the village, you can drive up to this incredible viewpoint that has a very long hanging bridge that doesn't look real at all. When I went there, the whole area was surrounded by clouds which got dyed in these wonderful pink and purple colors just as the sun was setting. Absolutely magnificent. Benito Juarez is only 60 kilometers away from Oaxaca City, but the roads are unpaved and incredibly windy, going up a hill, which means it takes about 2 hours to get there. But if you're not the biggest fan of boring highways, you'll love that ride. Trust me. My choice number 4 is the island of Holbox. Holbox is one of the most remote and well-preserved islands in Mexico. It's just over 40 kilometers long and is separated from the mainland by 10 kilometers of shallow lagoon that is home to flamingos, pelicans, and other rich bird life. Most of the people of Holbox still make their living fishing. The streets are made of white sand common of Caribbean islands, and there are very few cars as most people commute with golf carts or bicycles. In spite of the island's natural beauty, inaccessibility has left it relatively unspoiled by mass tourism, which will make you incredibly happy. The island has tons of gorgeous beaches, cheap massages, town center with quite a few good restaurants, and a great sunset point where you can also chill on a hammock. Holbox is really complicated to get to. If you have a car, you'll have to drive 140 kilometers away from Cancun to this tiny town called Chiquila. Then park the car there and hop on a ferry going to Holbox. The ferries run every 30 minutes or sometimes every 1 hour, depending on the time of the day. Since Holbox is still relatively untouched by civilization, they have billions of super aggressive mosquitoes ready to dine on you. So certainly bring some mosquito repellent or a hat or I don't know, something to protect yourself, as you definitely do not want to end up in a situation my boy Andrukas ended up in. Check it out.
My boy just broke his bike. Now he has to run because if he stops, he's done. That's the horse finger.
Oh, okay.
Top 3.
Long
welcome, and I have to say, it is getting hot in the studio, no? My choice number 3 is Las Pozas. Las Pozas is an extraordinary surrealist sculpture garden situated in the mountains of Mexico. It was created by this eccentric English poet called Edward James, who wanted to build a Garden of Eden on Earth. By the time James died in 1984, he had spent over $5 million for the construction of Las Pozas and had built 30
To the secret garden.
Yeah.
Right from the movie.
6 surrealist-inspired concrete sculptures spread out over more than 20 acres of tropical jungle. Walking around Las Pozas, we somehow forgot we were on planet Earth. It felt more like Narnia or The Lord of the Rings. I don't know, I mean, look at this place. Las Pozas is located just outside of this beautiful mountain town called Xilitla. It certainly takes a long while to get to the town as it's almost 500 kilometers away from Mexico City, and a lot of the roads leading to it are small mountain roads that cross many towns and villages on the way. So your average speed certainly isn't the fastest. My best tip is bring a swimsuit to Las Pozas because they have a couple of waterfalls there where you can actually bathe in. I didn't have my swim shorts there and I certainly wasn't too happy about it.
He never has this.
Number 2 is hashtag suspense is the Black Hole of Mexico. The Cave of Swallows is a huge open-air pit cave, also known to be the second deepest pit in Mexico and the largest known cave shaft in the world. Every evening, a large flock of birds circle the mouth of the cave, and about once each minute, a group of perhaps 50 breaks off and heads straight down towards the opening. When they cross the edge, the birds pull in their wings and free fall, extending their wings and pulling out of the dive when they reach the heights of their nest. This is an absolutely incredible thing to experience. Trust me. Cave of Swallows is located just 60 kilometers away from the town of Xilitla I just mentioned. But bear in mind that the roads are absolutely terrible. It will take you well over 2 hours to get there, so take some snacks and get ready to cross a million holes on the way. It'll be worth it though. This tip will certainly save you some money. Do not fly a drone at that place. We didn't know this rule, so we started flying our drone. Got one insane shot, this one, and then some local saw us flying the drone, and it became the biggest thing. The whole village started discussing what they should do with us, and some policemen or local guards or whatever came on their motorcycles with radios, and eventually we had to pay a fine of $45, which isn't too crazy. Though it's quite a bit of money in Mexico, I guess. So we were, of course, really happy that we could support the local community. But, you know, be careful with these things. And they say the reason you cannot really fly a drone there is because you might potentially hurt the birds. So we're really sorry we did it. We paid our fine, so I guess we're even now. No. But yes, be careful. And finally, my most favorite place in all of Mexico. The legendary Moon Waterfall. Oh, that's it. This insane place. You're gonna love it. Check it out. Famed for its turquoise water, Moon Waterfall is the result of 2 rivers merging, which create this magnificent 300-meter wide and over 100-meter high waterfall.
Wow,
Not only is it one of the largest, but certainly one of the most beautiful waterfalls Mexico has to offer. And honestly, if I ever made a list of my top waterfalls in the world, which might be a good idea, this would definitely be one of the top ones. You can admire millions of tons of water cascading down 100 meters when you're at the bottom of the waterfall, and also see the whole thing from up above. Both views will certainly take your breath away. Most importantly, when we were there, we encountered absolutely no tourists. And even though I know that, you know, putting this waterfall in a video like this might potentially change the situation, you know, but I guess really good things are meant to be shared. So go see the waterfall as soon as you have the chance. The Moon Waterfall is located not too far from the city of Ciudad Valles in the province of San Luis Potosí. However, the roads leading up to it are terrible. I mean, they're beautiful, but
more terrible roads.
When you get to the end of the road, you'll have to park your car under a tree, then hop into a big boat, go to the other side of the river, and then walk for another 20 to 30 minutes to get to the top of the waterfall, and the same to get to the bottom. But that's exactly what makes a place non-touristy, because it's hard to get to. I really hope that never changes. Please, never make a concrete road there. Please, please. My best tip is, of course, plan as much time as you can for this place. And once you're there, do not rush. Go to the very bottom of the waterfall and just sit there, admiring the view, playing cards, or doing whatever else. Then go back to the very top and do the same for as long as you can. I'm sure you'll enjoy every second of it. This place is definitely worth your time. And also, when we were there, we had very little service on our phones. which once again was great because you can finally put the phone down or ideally toss it into the river and simply take everything in. Trust me, your time at Small will definitely be a lot of fun. So that is it. This is the end of the very list, and if you are a person who watched everything from the very beginning of the video to the very end, you are a bloody legend. I would like to hug you a million times and give you 5 million high fives. If you like the video, of course, smash the like button. Do not forget to turn on the notifications on all of my videos, and most important,
that was good, yeah.
What are your impressions?
Well, of course, I like the waterfall the most. That was a.
Which one was your favorite? The waterfall?
Yeah, he definitely saved the best for last. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And the fact that not too many people know about it yet until the video, so.
It's like I was telling you I was telling him that there is a place called Las Villas de Morelos in Misantla, Veracruz, and it's like, you know, it's probably not a lot of people, know about it, but it's really good. Like, you can even see some pyramids on the way, which, you know, like, some people are really worried, more like, you know, the owners of the land, because they don't want to be pushed out of their land just because there is, you know, like, residuals of pyramids, and some perfect, you know, pyramids there. Not too big, but, you know, but it's a good place to visit, you know, if you get a chance to be around Misantla, Veracruz. So what do you think about this video so far? The mole was so good too, like, made me so hungry.
going back to the food, of course.
Like, it was really nice. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys. This was the reaction for today. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this reaction. What you thought
Thanks for letting me join.
Birdie.
They're joining too.
What do you thought about this live stream? I hope you guys like it. Obviously, you know, put more recommendations in the comments so we can react to videos that you want us to react on the next, you know, coming live streams. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Maybe we'll see you guys here tomorrow, since, you know, I got a lot of free time now. So I'll see you more often, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, and see you on the next one.
Hasta la.
Bye.